So here we are, and let's talk about Thanksgiving. But once I got to my mom's yesterday, turkey, smoked ham, deviled eggs, mac and cheese, if you please. Baby, dressing, not stovetop, dressing, my mama made. Green bean casserole, caramel apple pie, cranberry sauce, potato salad, rolls, smoked turkey, greens, beans, potatoes, yams, ham, you name it. It's official. We have snowfall. Yes.
Welcome to the Cali experiment. I'm gonna make a snow angel.
Clink, clink, the money on the bus goes
All through the time, I love you, I love you. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? I hope that you're doing great. I hope that you had a great Thanksgiving, because there are so many things to be thankful for. And one of those things to be thankful for is you. Today's video is just going to be a little bit different, a little bit of slow-mo, as I'm just going to talk to you guys about how I feel 4 days out of the hospital after my bariatric surgery. What my symptoms have been, my pain level, my activities, cheating on Thanksgiving. You heard me right. I decided to have my surgery the same week as Thanksgiving, but it was worth it, and I did it for a reason. I definitely learned a lesson, and I will not be cheating any longer. So let's get into it. I had my surgery on Monday, November 25th, and the experience at the hospital was amazing from the time that I got there, basically until the time that I left. I was not too fond of the first nurse that I got. It was nothing wrong with him. It was just that I didn't see him. And I felt like I needed the most care the first day when I got out. So it was okay. I asked for what I needed, and I advocated for myself. During that time, I was only able to consume water the first day. I did get broth at about 9 p.m. My surgery was at 9:30 a.m. So I was able to finally drink broth at 9 p.m. that night. I don't remember surgery. I remember prep for surgery, what you guys saw on the video. And then I remember going into a room and them telling me, okay, we're going to give you some oxygen. And then I was like, then when I woke up, I was safe and comfortable in my room. I was very tired, but overall I had no pain. I guess because the anesthesia was still working, because boy, did that not last long. My brother was there waiting for me when I got back to my room to make sure that I was okay. And he did stay with me for a long time while I snored like a man that had worked 70 hours in a day. Even though there's not 70 hours, he said I was throwing them logs back. Baby, I must have needed that rest, okay? After he left, I was just still tired. And so I allowed myself that rest after I made sure my family and my girls were okay. And then eventually, before the night was over, I was up walking. Yes, I was. Before I had surgery, sorry about that, the big thump you heard was my daughter falling off of something because she continues to jump around after I tell her not to. And please, I beg, no children were harmed in the making of this video. My children are safe. They are well taken care of. And I'm pretty sure that if you've watched any of my videos, you know that. So, back to the subject at hand. Before my surgery, my doctor did give me clear instructions that after surgery, the expectation was to get up and walk. Not just walk, maybe a soft jog. No, I'm just joking. He wanted me to get up and do 10 laps around the hospital. Basically, the hospital was in like a U shape. So by the end of the night, I had completed that 10 laps. Because baby, you are talking to a woman that was determined to get back home to her kids, okay? My husband was in charge. And anybody that knows that if you leave instructions for your husband, he's going to do everything but that. In my defense, my husband took very good care of our kids. We both have our roles in our marriage, and that's just the way that it goes. So I wanted to make sure that I completed everything so that I had no hiccups in my healing. I had no hiccups in my discharge because I was ready to go. I was able to have broth at about 9 o'clock that night, and I was able to also have sugar-free Jell-O. I was not able to hold down much at all. By the time that I got those things, I was starving, baby. I mean, I was like, where's my stuff? Like, you supposedly ordered this like 3 hours ago, and that was the nurse that I was referring to. I did not sleep well at all, which can be expected the first night because I was uncomfortable. I'm not a back sleeper. I'm a side sleeper, so I could not do any other positions except for my back. And I was sitting up sleeping also. At this point, I really didn't feel a lot of discomfort because they were giving me Toradol, and it was just the anesthesia was still kicked in. And so I was like, oh, okay. But the next morning, a total different story. The anesthesia had roared off by the next morning, and I could feel everything. I would have to say day 2 and 3 were the worst days. I'm on day 4 now, and I've been up cleaning up, doing everything under the sun. I wanted to shovel the snow. My husband had to tell me to go sit myself down somewhere. But day 2 and 3 was the worst for me. I was discharged the next day after I consumed 3 16-ounce cups of water. And I did walk more on my own without him even asking. By the time he got to come and check on me the next morning, he saw me walking in the hall, and he met me back at my room because I guess that's just who I am. I'm just a determined person. You give me something to do, and I'm going to make sure that I do it above and beyond. I would have to say that when I got home, that was probably the hardest because I had to resume my duties as a mom, no matter how I felt, you know, and that was okay because this surgery was a choice and a decision that I made, and it was agreed upon between me and my husband. So, but I made it. And my daughter Nola, my 5-year-old, she is such a huge help. I explained to her what happened. I had prepped my kids and let them know I was having surgery and that I would be needing a little bit of help from them. So Nola did help me a lot when I got home from the hospital. And what that looked like was she tried to cover me with a cover. She tried to explain to her sister that she could not jump on mommy's belly, and she got me my water. Just small little gestures that I appreciate so much that made my healing so much better. Okay, so let's talk about what I can consume in phase 1 after my surgery. I bought Perp, a container that is 64 ounces, and this is the expectation that you are supposed to drink every day, liquids after surgery. So what I do is I fill her up with 2 bottles of water each morning, and I work on that for the first portion of the morning. The expectation is also to try to take in 2 protein shakes a day, but the protein shakes make me so sick to my stomach that I cannot tolerate them alone. What I do is I have coffee, and I mix half of my protein shake into my coffee, and I just take my time and slowly consume that. It takes me about an hour and a half to consume 1 cup of coffee. But what I have learned about this so far is it is not a race, baby. It is not a race. After I have my coffee, I try to let my stomach rest a bit. And I just slowly continue to sip on my 2 bottles of water that I poured into my my container. And then if I start to feel really hungry, I get to decide what I want. I can either have chicken broth, which these are really good. My bomb nurse at the hospital sent me home with a whole bunch of these because this is the most satisfying broth that I've ever had in my life. After I heal, I don't ever want to see broth again unless it's going into something I'm cooking. Then, of course, I can have sugar-free Jell-O, no sugar added, and that is a part of the liquid diet. Sometimes I'm unable to finish my water. It has only been 4 days, so the expectation, I just keep building it up day by day. Even if I don't meet my goal that day, I still try to push myself the next day. So I do try to include tea. This one is my favorite. It's lemon ginger with probiotics, which kind of helps everything keep moving. And then you can also have protein water. That will be included in your liquid diet. So here we are, and let's talk about Thanksgiving. I had done really well up until that point. You know, nothing was a temptation to me because I don't have anything in my home, and obviously I don't feel like eating. I did not feel like eating anything at all. But once I got to my mom's yesterday, turkey, smoked ham, deviled eggs, mac and cheese, if you please. Baby, dressing, not stovetop, dressing my mama made. Green bean casserole, caramel apple pie, cranberry sauce, potato salad, rolls, smoked turkey, greens, beans, potatoes, yams, ham, you name it. Okay, I'm back. Of course, I did not eat all these things. I did not. It first started off very innocent with a devil egg that I smushed into oblivion, okay? Then it continued with one macaroni noodle. Exactly one, y'all. Just one. And before you know it, I had a little bit of my baby's green bean casserole, like 2 strands of green bean. And then when I got home, that was when it went all downhill. I am not proud of these things at all, as I could have put my health at risk. I could have ended up in the hospital if I had decided to eat and not control myself. I mean, consume way more than what I did. And I know you might be thinking like, girl, that's a little bit, but it's not a little bit. When your stomach is in the process of healing, it's important to follow the directions that you're given because they're given for a reason. So don't follow my lead in that instance. I felt so sick all night. And when I tell you, today was not a temptation. I brought home Thanksgiving food for a member of my household, and there was no temptation to eat anything in there because of how I felt all night. I just kept feeling like I had to throw up. It just didn't feel like it was processing, or it was digesting rather, and it was not worth it. Not even those few little bites that I took, it was not worth it. I will wait until I see my doctor and I'm released to move on to my different phases. So here we are, day 4, and as you can see, I am up and about. Today is the only day that I've actually felt like taking a shower, even though I did. I let the water run on myself. Today is the only day that I felt like going and shoveling the snow. Last night, I was able to do a walk-in-place exercise. I don't recommend it if you don't feel it, but I did want to get the gas moving from me cheating on my diet on Thanksgiving. Walking is going to be your best friend with this surgery. I cannot kid you not. I didn't have the pain in my chest. Overall, everything was great for me, and everybody's experience is going to be different, but what you do will determine your outcome. Do not eat the week before your surgery. Do not. As hard as it may be, it's going to be worth it. Also, be sure to follow all the directions that your doctor gives you. Do not be like me and get tempted and fall into sin on Thanksgiving. But overall, this has been a great experience, and I'm so excited to see the things that will come. And I'm so excited to see if I lost any weight since I was weighed at the hospital. Starting out last September 2023, I weighed in at 354 pounds. This was after depression, 3 kids, and life in general. When I weighed in at the hospital on Monday, I was 286. Today I placed a Walmart order because, as you saw, it's snowing, and I did order a scale. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video with a weigh-in with you and you. You get a bariatric. You get a bariatric. You get a bariatric. You get a bariatric. Let's see if I lost any weight since I left the hospital. I love you guys. And I pray sincerely that you would be blessed. I pray that you will be fulfilled in everything in your life. Be sure to write that vision and make it plain, because everything you see in my life that's manifesting is a byproduct of prayer and crying and seeking the Lord and work. In the words of the famous theologian Kim Kardashian, you better get out here and work. PG version. It's the part that we miss, the part where our jobs come in, where we have to do the work. God says that he will give us the desires of our heart. He'll place them in there, and then we have to do the job to walk it out. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to have a garden, you got to sow the seeds, baby. And the seeds do not grow overnight. So be encouraged. Keep going and stay on the path. It's not always going to be pretty, but just know you will make it through. Be blessed. So here, okay, y'all, it's the next morning. Things didn't go as planned, but we're gonna weigh in. I did not step on the scale before this, so we're gonna do this together. Let's go. My expectation is not too high today. So according to the scale, I've lost over 1 pound, which does not make me happy. There are a few things to consider in this time. I'm still healing. I'm basically just taking in water, which I expected to be a lot less at this point. And I am having my monthly, so that may be contributing to a little bit of the extra weight. So, but it's okay.
I just want to take the time out to just say thank you so much for allowing me to share my life with you up until this point. And for you to just be encouraged that God will complete the work.